This is Math 1316, Trigonometry. We're working in Chapter 3, Section 3, dealing with radian and degree measure, and putting them on the unit circle, looking to see where things are. I am David Dipple, and my email address is davidadipple@lonestar.edu. At first we look at how a circle can be divided into degrees. If you go counterclockwise, we start with 0 on the right side. Then 90 is at the top, 180 is on the left side, and 270. Then we get back around to 360. So those are the major angles, quadrants of your circle. Now we can divide those into smaller parts. We looked at this earlier. And you can go from 30 to 45 to 60 to your 90. And again, you're chopping this up into half is 45 degrees, thirds is 30 and 60. Then you can keep going around the circle doing the same thing. 120, 135, 150, 180. Add 30 again is 210. And then 225, 240. And add 30 to 270. Then the fourth quadrant, adding 30 gives you 300, adding 45 gives you 315, and adding 60 gives you 330. So those are the angles, and there are corresponding parts to each of those. Now we can also take our circumference of a circle, which is 2 pi r, if the radius is 1. Then the whole circle, if you go all the way around, walking around it, the circumference will be 2 pi, because r is 1. We'll start with 0 over here on the right side as we did before. Halfway around a circle is going to be 1 pi, because the whole thing is 2 pi's. Now we can do as we did before. Go up here at the top. If this is pi, going only halfway will be half of a pi, or pi over 2. Now if you'll count, this is 0, this is 1/2, this is 2 halves, which is 1 pi. Then down here will be 3 halves, so it's 3 pi over 2. Then your 2 pi. Now you can also take this top pi, chop it into 4 pieces, and that gives you 1/4 for the first one, 2/4, which is a half, 3/4 will be over here in the second quadrant, 4/4, which is 1, then 5/4, 6/4, which reduces your 3 halves, 7/4, which is down here at the bottom. Similarly, instead of chopping it into 4 pieces, we can subdivide it into 3 pieces. So your pi is chopped into 3 pieces, so it's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 is 1. This will be 4/3 down at the bottom, and 5/3. Or similarly, instead of quarters and thirds, we can chop it into 6 pieces. So you go from 0 to pi in 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, this is 1/6. 2/6 reduces to 1/3. 3/6 is a half. 4/6 is 2/3. And again, we've already done those. And then we have 5/6. So this is the new ones are 1/6 and 5/6. These others we've done. Then continuing, 5/6, 6/6, 7/6 doesn't reduce. 8 reduces to 4/3. 9 reduces to 3 halves. 10 is 5/3. And then 11 doesn't reduce, 11 pi over 6. So those are the places for all of the sixths and their reduced fractions. So if you put everything on the circle, starting with 0, it's 1/6, 1/4, 1/3, 1/2. And then as you go around, you just repeat these with the corresponding. This is 1/3. This will be 2/3. This is 1/4, 2/4. This will be 3/4, 5/6, and 1. Then we continue again. This is the sixths. 7/6. Then we go to quarters, because that came from a quarter. 5 over 4, 4 over 3, 3 over 2. And then again, this was thirds. This will be thirds. 5 thirds, so it's 4 thirds, 5 thirds. Then in the middle it was quarters. And if you look at your quarters, 1/4, 2/4, this is 3/4, 4, this is 5, 6, so it'll be 7. Because 7/4 is almost 8/4, which is 1, so it's basically the odd quarters. And then what's left is the sixths. So your sixths are here really close to 0 horizontal, so it's 1/6 and 5/6, 7/6 and 11/6. Those do not reduce. Then your quarters are 1/4, 3, 5, and 7. And your thirds, 1/3, 2 thirds, and they jump down 4 thirds, 5 thirds. Those don't reduce. And then we need to go back and remind you how to convert from radian degrees. That's multiplying by pi, divide by 180, or multiply by 180 and divide by pi. If you need the degree symbol, you put the pi on the bottom. If you want to get rid of a degree symbol, you put the degree on the bottom. Okay, suppose you have 75 degrees. We're going to multiply by pi and divide by 180 because we want the degree symbols to cancel. And if we do that, by simplifying, you should get 5 pi over 12. If you have 80 degrees, we're going to multiply by same thing, pi divided by 180. Degree symbols will cancel. You get 8 over 18, which reduces to 4 over 9. And then if we want to change 2 degrees, if you have a pi or no degree symbol and you want to get it in there, you multiply by 180 divided by pi. That cancels, and you get 100. And that is where it's going. So when you get to WebAssign, you'll need to know the unit circle and the corresponding sine and cosine values, tangent values for all of the radians and the measures and the degrees. Nothing changes with the sine and cosines, it's just how we notate the symbols.